Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Wednesday, January 4, 2023, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. Also, check out our perks and join the High Stakes membership. Joining the High Stakes membership is easy, is cheap, but it will help a lot in the growth process of this channel. Plus check out our Patreon in the link down below if you want access for our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our games for today, make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comments section below. New Orleans Pelicans vs Houston Rockets. The Rockets are coming into this one almost at full strength as the only player they are missing is Jason Tate, while the Pelicans are missing Larry Nance Jr., Brandon Ingram and now Zion Williamson. The Rockets have been in poor form and they have little to play for, but they almost beat the Mavericks on Monday and are more than capable of beating a depleted Pelicans team. The Houston Rockets are due for a win and they have a great chance of earning that against the Pelicans. New Orleans will be without their two leading scorers, with Williamson and Ingram ruled out with injuries. Without those two, the Pelicans' offense will need to lean on some less explosive players, opening a huge door for the Rockets. Green is coming off a 33-point outing, so expect him to ride that momentum into Wednesday's contest and have another strong performance, especially without the pressure of Williamson and Ingram. In addition, the Rockets' defense has had a lot of pressure taken off their shoulders with those two Pelicans out, so they can focus on stopping the New Orleans offense as a whole, rather than putting all of their energy into two players. In their last game against each other, Williamson had a strong performance carrying his team, but this time around they won't have that weapon, giving Houston the advantage. Our team pick is to take Houston plus 7.5 points. The New Orleans Pelicans are going to be without Williamson and Ingram, the two top scorers, which will be a devastating blow to the offense, considering they both contribute a significant amount to the 117.4-point average. With this being said, I expect the Pelicans' offense to be much less explosive, preventing them from running up the score quickly. They will be forced to find more openings since Williamson was able to do that with ease on his own. Houston, on the other hand, does not have an explosive offense, and I expect that to stay the same during Wednesday's game. They are averaging 109.3 points per game, with Green leading with 21.4 points per game. Expect this to be a low-scoring affair, considering the Rockets have been struggling to put points up and the Pelicans are without their most explosive players. Our total pick is under 223.5 points. Chicago Bulls vs Brooklyn Nets. The Nets have been the hottest team in the league for a while now, and they should be at full strength for this one, as Markieff Morris and Royce O'Neal are both listed as probable to return. Meanwhile, the Bulls have kept their heads above water with 5 wins in their past 8 games, but they will be kicking themselves after getting blown out in a tough overtime loss to the Cavaliers in their last outing. Brooklyn is the hottest team in the NBA as the Nets have started to play very well offensively and their defense has also gotten better, which is why I like Brooklyn to cover the spread here. Chicago, meanwhile, has struggled this season, in large part due to their secondary scorers, as teams can limit DeRozan and Lavin, and the Bulls struggle to score. This season, Brooklyn is 19-17-1 in covering the spread while as a road favorite, the Nets are 5-5, while Chicago is 3-4-1 as a home underdog in covering the spread. The Nets are the hottest team in the league and now face off against a team that can't take advantage of their weaknesses. Brooklyn is not exceptional along the perimeter, but the Bulls are just 11th in 3PT shooting. The Nets are 2nd in the NBA in 3PT shooting, while the Bulls are 29th in the league in 3PT defense. While the Bulls have 2 quality scorers in DeRozan and Levine, the Nets' defense has improved since the beginning of the season, with the 7th-ranked scoring defense. The net streak will end, but the Bulls aren't a team to take them down in this spot. Our team pick is Nets minus 5 points. Although Brooklyn and Chicago are both offensive teams, I like the under here, as odds makers have put these two teams over line too high as of late. The Nets are 2017 in hitting the under, while Chicago is 1918 in hitting the under. Currently, Brooklyn plays at a pace of 100.9 which ranks 20th, while the Bulls play at a pace of 101.9 which ranks 14th, and in the one game these two teams played this season, it went for 207 points. Both these teams are capable of having a high-scoring game, but as we saw earlier this year, they can match up well and defend well to have a low-scoring game. Our total pick is under 234.5 points. Minnesota Timberwolves vs Portland Trail Blazers. The Trail Blazers should have Jusuf Nurkic in the lineup for this one, as he is listed as probable, but they are keeping an eye on Gary Payton too, who is questionable due to a right ankle sprain. The Timberwolves are sweating on the availability of Taurean Prince and Naz Reid, who are both questionable for this one, while Karl-Anthony Towns is still out. The Trail Blazers come in as the team in better shape, and they looked great in their big win over the Pistons on Monday. The Timberwolves were looking terrible before their upset win over the Red Hot Nuggets, so they will be full of confidence for this one, but I'm not going to overreact to one good game when they played so poorly in the 6 games prior. Minnesota is coming off a victory over Denver, but the Timberwolves struggle without Karl-Anthony Towns, who is their second leading scorer and second leading rebounder, and are being out-rebounded by 3.0 rebounds per game, which is strange as they have one of the best rebounders in the NBA in Rudy Gobert. Minnesota has failed to cover the spread in 5 of the last 7 overall. Portland has won 2 of its last 3 with victories over the Charlotte Hornets and the Detroit Pistons, while losing to the Golden State Warriors, but have a formidable scoring trio Damian Lillard, Anthony Simons and Jerami Grant, who are combining to score an average of 72.4 points per game. Edwards led Minnesota to a statement victory over Denver, but will he carry the momentum from that performance into Wednesday's contest? He scored 27 or more points in 6 straight and 20 plus in 9 straight. That said, 6 of those performances came in T-Wolves losses, as the young shooting guard can only do so much to carry this roster. The Trail Blazers were invigorated by Payton's debut, but beating Detroit doesn't mean much these days. Portland needs to string together multiple victories if it hopes to have a chance in the West. Minnesota is under .500 and is playing without one of its key pieces in Cat. Beating teams like Detroit and Minnesota might not seem like much on the surface, but they're building blocks for a longer streak. As long as Nurkic plays, I believe the Blazers will cover the spread. Edwards will get his buckets, but who else will step up when Lillard and Simons knock down a few in a row? Russell can shoulder some of the scoring load, but he's not efficient enough to be a second scoring option on a good team. Without Towns, the T-Wolves are missing their identity, in my opinion. The Blazers have the league's best against the spread record, 22-14, this season. They're also covering 61.1% of their games after a straight-up victory and 57.1% of their road games. I'll bet on the visitors to cover in this Western Conference showdown. Our team pick is Portland covers. The total has finished under in 4 of the last 6 games that Minnesota played against a team from the Western Conference, as well as in 4 of Portland's last 5 games overall. Minnesota's defense is holding opponents to a field goal shooting percentage of 46.1%, which is 7th best in the NBA, while Portland's defense is holding opponents to an average of 112.0 points per game, which is 12th best in the NBA. Our total pick is under the total.